Welcome back to our channel, fellow thrill seekers and mystery enthusiasts. We're glad you've decided to join us once again as we dive into the depths of the unknown, where every corner holds a chilling secret, every shadow a tale of terror. Do you love scary tales that send chills down your spine? Tales that make your hair stand on end, your heart race, and your mind whirl with possibilities? If so, you're in the right place. Today, we're journeying to a quiet suburban town in New York, a place where the ordinary and extraordinary dance in an eerie waltz. We're exploring a house that has become an emblem of terror, a house that has left an indelible mark on the fabric of horror lore. But before we dive into the chilling tale of the Amityville house, we want to hear from you. What do you think about the supernatural? Do you believe in ghosts, in hauntings, in the power of the unseen? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more spine-chilling stories. Remember, in the world of horror, the only thing to fear is the unknown itself. So buckle up and prepare yourself for a journey into the heart of the Amityville mystery. Let's get started. In the quiet suburban town of Amityville, New York, there lies a house with a story that chills the bones. A place where the ordinary and extraordinary dance in an eerie waltz, where the echoes of a ghastly past whisper in the wind. Nestled in the heart of this unassuming town, on a street lined with quaint homes, stands one particular residence. A house that is no stranger to whispers of the supernatural. A house that has become an emblem of terror. A house that has left an indelible mark on the fabric of horror lore. This is the town of Amityville, a town that could be any town, really. A place where children play, neighbours chat over picket fences, and life hums along to the rhythm of normalcy. But beneath the veneer of suburban tranquility, there lurks a mystery. A mystery that has captured the imagination of horror enthusiasts and skeptics alike. A mystery that has been explored in countless books, films, and late-night conversations. A mystery that is as much a part of Amityville as its leafy streets and small-town charm. The house in question, the infamous Amityville house, is a place where this mystery comes alive. A place that has been shrouded in speculation and intrigue for decades. It is a house that seems almost ordinary at first glance, with its Dutch colonial architecture and waterfront view. But the events that have unfolded within its walls are anything but ordinary. The house has seen joy and sorrow, life and death, love and fear. It has been a home to families, a playground for children, a sanctuary from the world outside. But it has also been a stage for a story that has shaken the foundations of what we understand about the world we live in. A story that has blurred the lines between reality and the paranormal, between the seen and the unseen, between the living and the dead. As we delve into the mysteries of the Amityville house, we invite you to suspend your disbelief, to open your mind to the possibilities that lie beyond the realm of our understanding. For what you are about to hear is not a tale spun from the depths of a writer's imagination. No, this is not a fictional horror story, dreamed up on a stormy night. This is the real story of the Amityville Horror. Our tale begins with the DeFeo family, the unsuspecting first victims of the house. This was a family of 7 living what seemed to be an idyllic existence in a quaint Dutch colonial house in Amityville, New York. Yet, beneath the suburban tranquility, a sinister undercurrent was slowly forming. The family was headed by Ronald DeFeo Sr., a successful car dealer, and his wife, Louise. They had 5 children, Dawn, Allison, Mark, John, and Ronald Jr., affectionately known as Butch. Butch, the eldest, was a troubled young man, often clashing with his father, a dominance battle that filled the house with tension. On a chilling November night in 1974, this tension erupted into an unthinkable horror. All members of the DeFeo family, save for Butch, were found murdered in their beds. The peaceful suburban home had become a scene of a gruesome mass murder. Butch DeFeo, the sole survivor, initially played the role of a distraught son. He wove a tale of a mafia hitman who he claimed was the real perpetrator. However, inconsistencies in his story started to emerge, and under intense police interrogation, the truth unraveled. Butch confessed to the murders of his family. He claimed he was compelled by voices in his head, voices that originated from within the house, commanding him to kill. His confession sent a shockwave through the community, turning the DeFeo residence from a house to a house of horrors. The trial of Ronald DeFeo Jr. was a media circus gripping the nation. His defense centered on insanity, with his lawyers arguing that he was under the influence of a malevolent force within the house. However, the jury was unconvinced. DeFeo was found guilty on 6 counts of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to 6 consecutive life sentences, leaving the house abandoned, a grim reminder of the tragedy that unfolded within its walls. With the DeFeo family dead and the house empty, the stage was set for the next chapter. Enter the Lutz family, the new homeowners, oblivious of the horror that awaited them. George and Kathy Lutz, along with their 3 children, were eager to start a new chapter in their lives. They were drawn to the charming Dutch colonial house in Amityville, New York, like moths to a flame. Its grandeur, the serene neighborhood, it was everything they had envisioned for their dream home. The Lutz family moved into the house in December of 1975, a little over a year after the DeFeo family tragedy. It was a new beginning, a fresh start, they thought. The house, however, had other plans. The walls of the house, still echoing with the unspeakable horrors of the past, welcomed them with an eerie silence. As days turned into weeks, the Lutz family began to sense an unsettling atmosphere in the house. It was subtle at first, a fleeting shadow here, a faint whisper there, but what started as an undercurrent of unease soon began to ripple into waves of fear. Cold spots in rooms, inexplicable odors and strange noises began to infest their daily lives. The family dog would bark at unseen entities, children's toys would move of their own accord, doors would slam shut without any wind. But what was even more unnerving was the inexplicable change in their personalities. George Lutz, a jovial and lively man, turned increasingly irritable and morose. Kathy, on the other hand, was plagued by nightmares, each more terrifying than the last. Despite the growing dread, the Lutz family tried to brush off these incidents as mere coincidences, the product of an overactive imagination. They were determined not to let these strange occurrences shatter their dream. But the house, it seemed, was just starting to reveal its true colors. The Lutz family had no idea that their dream house was about to become their worst nightmare. As days turned into weeks, the Lutz family began to witness inexplicable and terrifying events. The house, once filled with the laughter of children and the hum of domestic bliss, had become a stage for the supernatural. In the heart of the night, the family was roused from sleep by chilling sounds. Whispers echoed through the corridors, a cacophony of voices speaking in tongues unknown. The once mundane and familiar objects of their home began to behave with a mind of their own. Doors slammed shut, refusing to open, while windows shattered without cause. The scent of decay lingered in the air, an invisible spectre of the tragedy that had befallen the previous inhabitants. The Lutz children, who once played gleefully in the spacious rooms, were now victims of unseen forces. Their toys moved on their own, propelled by an unseen hand. Their laughter turned to screams as their rooms grew cold and shadows danced on the walls, taking grotesque forms. Their beloved pet, once a source of joy and comfort, began to growl at empty corners, its eyes reflecting a fear that mirrored their own. The once warm and welcoming hearth flickered with an eerie blue flame, casting an ominous glow that seemed to pulsate with a life of its own. George and Kathy Lutz, once disbelievers, were now living a nightmare that defied logic. Their love for each other and their children was their only solace in a home that seemed intent on driving them to madness. The occurrences became more frequent, the intensity escalating with each passing day. What began as whispers in the dark had turned into a symphony of terror that echoed through the halls of their once cherished home. The Lutz family was living in a house possessed. It was no longer a sanctuary, but a prison haunted by the echoes of a past drenched in tragedy. As the walls seemed to close in around them, their dream home had become a chilling reminder of the thin veil separating the living from the departed. The house was no longer a home, but a vessel of horror. The final nights in the Amityville house were nothing short of a living nightmare for the Lutz family. As the moon's pale light seeped through the shadowed windows of the infamous house, an eerie sense of dread began to take hold. The Lutz family, once hopeful for a fresh start, found themselves plunged into a chilling reality they never could have imagined. The house seemed to come alive, tormenting them with inexplicable occurrences that defied logic and reason. The family's sleep was disrupted by recurring nightmares that vividly depicted the house's violent past. Their dreams were filled with haunting images, and the line between reality and nightmare began to blur. Every creak, every whisper of the wind, every shadow in the corner of their eyes fed their growing terror. Their once tranquil home had become a pandemonium of fear, with spectral figures appearing at odd hours and inexplicable cold spots that seemed to follow them around the house. The children's toys would move on their own, and their pet dog would growl at unseen figures. The house seemed to feed off their fear, growing more hostile and menacing with each passing night. In the midst of this escalating terror, the Lutz family made a decision. A decision born out of desperation and fear. They decided to abandon their dream home, to leave everything behind. The furniture, the clothes, the memories they'd hoped to make there. They chose to escape the nightmare, to prioritize their sanity and safety over material possessions. The final night was the most terrifying of all. The family, huddled together in fear, waited for dawn to break. As the first light of morning pierced through the gloom, they grabbed their coats and left, not daring to look back. In just 28 days, the Lutz family fled, leaving the haunted house behind. The house that promised a fresh start had instead given them a chilling tale of horror and survival, a tale that would echo through the annals of paranormal history, forever known as the Amityville Horror. In just 28 days, the Lutz family fled, leaving the haunted house behind. The Lutz family escaped, but the legacy of the Amityville Horror was far from over. In the wake of the Lutz family's hasty departure, the house on Ocean Avenue fell into an eerie silence. But the quiet was short-lived. Soon, the tranquil suburban neighborhood was teeming with curious onlookers, paranormal investigators and media personnel, all drawn to the infamous property by the chilling tale of the Lutz family's 28-day ordeal. Among the first to investigate the claims were Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators. Their findings, while controversial, added a new layer of intrigue to the story. They asserted that the house was indeed plagued by malevolent forces, a claim that only fueled the media frenzy and public fascination. In the midst of the chaos, the tale of the Amityville Horror was being meticulously crafted into a narrative that would soon captivate the world. Jay Anson, a writer and documentarian, took on the task of translating the Lutz family's experiences into a book. Published in September of 1977, The Amityville Horror, A True Story, quickly became a bestseller. Anson's vivid storytelling and the book's claim to be based on true events made it a sensation, further cementing the legacy of the Amityville Horror. The book's success paved the way for a series of film adaptations, with the first one hitting the big screens in 1979. The movie, like the book, claimed to portray true events and was promoted with the chilling tagline, "For God's sake, get out." It was a box office success, grossing over $80 million, and spawned a franchise that includes numerous sequels, prequels, and remakes. Despite the commercial success, the authenticity of the Amityville Horror has been a subject of debate. Skeptics argue that the events were a carefully constructed hoax, a product of clever marketing and public fascination with the supernatural. The Lutz family, however, maintained until their last days that their experiences were genuine. As the years passed, the house on Ocean Avenue saw numerous owners, all seemingly undeterred by its gruesome past. Some reported strange occurrences, while others lived peacefully, their experiences serving to further muddle the truth of what really happened in the Amityville house. The Amityville house stands to this day a chilling reminder of the horror that once unfolded within its walls. The legacy of the Amityville Horror, whether one views it as a true account of a haunted house or a masterful work of fiction, continues to captivate and terrify audiences around the world. The story, in all its iterations, serves as a stark reminder of our enduring fascination with the unknown, the unexplained, and the terrifying possibility of what might lurk in the shadows of our own homes. The Amityville Horror has left a lasting imprint on popular culture and our collective imagination. Indeed, the chilling tale of the Amityville house has fundamentally reshaped the landscape of the horror genre. It has fueled our fascination with haunted houses and the supernatural, creating an enduring template for countless stories that followed. The narrative of a seemingly ordinary family, terrorized by unseen entities, has become a staple of the genre, transforming our homes, our sanctuaries into places of unspeakable horror. Moreover, the Amityville Horror has intensified our fascination with the blurred lines between reality and fiction. It has sparked numerous debates and prompted investigations, with skeptics and believers alike delving into the story's intricacies. The question of whether the Lutz family's experiences were genuine hauntings or elaborate fabrications has added an extra layer of intrigue to the story. The tale has also inspired a myriad of books, movies, documentaries, and TV shows, each attempting to unravel the mystery and capture the chilling essence of the original event. These adaptations have played a significant role in spreading the story far and wide, embedding it deep within the fabric of popular culture. Furthermore, the Amityville Horror has had a profound impact on how we perceive and engage with the supernatural. It has stirred our curiosity, our fear, and our fascination, pushing us to question the boundaries of our understanding. It has reminded us that there are mysteries in this world that are beyond our comprehension, things that elude our senses and defy our logic. The story has also served as a stark reminder of the fragility of the human mind, of how easily fear can distort our perception and turn the familiar into the terrifying. It has shown us the power of suggestion, of how a story once told can take on a life of its own and become a part of our reality. Whether fact or fiction, the Amityville Horror continues to captivate and terrify us, a testament to the enduring power of a good ghost story.